History has a way of disappearing, but every now and then, the stranger stories come back. This is one of those stories. The Great Hopkins Rescue. Towering over Wyoming's Black Hills is a geologic phenomenon called Devil's Tower. It stands more than 1,200 feet above the Belforche River and features striking granite columns and deep fissures. Geologists call it a volcanic plug. Native Americans call it sacred. To many rock climbers, Devil's Tower is one of America's greatest climbs. Adventure writer Gregory Crouch has been climbing here for more than 15 years.
I think Devil's Tower is one of the best climbing areas in North America. It's just a fabulous place to climb. It's smooth, clean rocks, steep lines. It's just a great place to climb.
Today, Crouch and his climbing partner Ryan Jennings head out to climb the Durant's Route. Made famous during a spectacular rescue in 1941, this is the most popular climb on the tower.
Well, one of the great things about climbing is that you absolutely get to travel in the hand and the footholds of history. And so the highlight of the climbing history has got to be the Hopkins rescue. I mean, that's such an oddity.
The almost unclimbable Devil's Tower rock in Wyoming was the scene of a parachute leap by George Hopkins that caused a sensation in America. There he goes. Now, finding life at home too dull and slow, he maroons himself on this rock. The job was neatly done, all right, but he can't get down.
Charles George Hopkins was a shameless publicity hound, well known for his skydiving feats. He held the record for most jumps, more than 2,300, and for the highest altitude jump at 26,000 feet. Now, he wanted to be the first to land on the tiny summit of Devil's Tower.
George Hopkins parachuted to the top of Devil's Tower to win a $50 bet. Well, I guess homeboy landed his bet because he got on top of the mountain, no problem, on top of Devil's Tower, but he didn't have a good plan for getting down.
Now, alone on the top of the tower, Hopkins' plan is to attach a 1,000-foot rope to the rock, then hand over hand, Batman style, to the ground. Needless to say, it didn't work. An airplane tries to drop the rope to Hopkins, but it bounces across the summit and falls over the edge, leaving him totally stranded. Alerted to the dilemma, newsmen from around the country pounce on the story like a pack of wolves. With the entire country watching, Park Superintendent Newell Joyner rallies to the rescue.
Joyner has this problem. He's got a guy on top of Devil's Tower and he needs to rescue him, and all sorts of inane schemes were posed.
The Navy offers a newly developed flying machine called a helicopter, but Joyner thinks that's too risky. Others suggest Hopkins use his parachute to jump off in a primitive base jump.
The Goodyear blimp offered its services to get the guy down.
But Joyner says no to that too. Hopkins spends 2 cold nights on the tower before Joyner decides to rescue him with mountain climbers. He calls one of America's best, Jack Durant's.
Jack, this is Newell Joyner out at Devil's Tower here. Can you come help get this damn fool down? I'm catching hell from Washington.
Durant jumps on a train in New Hampshire with his climbing team and heads west. Airplanes drop more supplies to Hopkins, who braves another cold night. October 5th, Durant arrives to a media circus.
A crowd of about 2,200 spectators had gathered to watch the rescue climb. I mean, it was huge news all over the country that week, the guy stranded on top of Devil's Tower.
Durrance quickly organizes in the ranger station and combines forces with legendary climber Paul Petzold. That night, freezing rain blankets the tower in ice. The next day, the rescue team spins into action. They quickly climb the first pitch, but ice stops them cold on pitch 2.
The pitch was sort of icy. There was some ice on these holds and stuff, and that would certainly make this stuff a whole lot harder than it is under normal circumstances.
After hours of bold climbing, Durrance struggles through to pitch 3.
I think by the time that the rescue party got to this ledge right here, they had it pretty much in the bag, right? The hard climbing was beneath them. There's just one short little chimney section above us and the jump traverse to cross into the meadows.
When they reach the jump traverse, one by one, they leap the 400-foot drop.
Well, the jump traverse is where there's 2 columns and a wall between them, and their columns are set about 4 or 5 feet apart.
Today, most climbers opt to climb around this scary drop.
All right.
The last remaining rock before the summit is a ledge system called the Meadows. At 3:30 in the afternoon, Durrance and his team make it to the top of the surreal summit. After 6 days stranded on the tower, Hopkins is finally rescued.
Well, there's not much on top. It's just like a piece of the Wyoming prairie raised up into the sky. Grass is growing up there, a few rocks lying around. Incredible views over the northern hills.
After a crash course on proper rappelling technique, Hopkins and the rescue team head down. With modern climbing equipment, it's a little easier than that cold October day in 1941.
After being marooned for almost a week, rescuers, led by a famous climber, got him down. He'd had a most unpleasant time, but maybe he wanted publicity. He certainly got that.
While his publicity stunt went completely haywire, it remains to this day as the strangest chapter of Devil's Tower history.